Hi beauties, last week of July. Oh my gosh, we are halfway done with the year. I'm so excited. This year has been so good. Oh my gosh, for this growth journey. It's crazy because I started this YouTube at the beginning of the year, and I'm just like I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful, guys. But today, what I'm gonna be talking about is establishing your worth. I think this is a big thing on my heart, you guys, because, and I struggled with this for a while as well. But nowadays, what I'm seeing so much is people trying to be worthy through other people's eyes, and it's like, no, stop it. Like, God made you worthy, God accepted you, God approved you, like, establish your worth is established. You are established, and just, seek the kingdom, seek the king, so that you can see how much or how established you are, how worthy you are. And so I wrote practically how the Lord had been able to show me, like, baby, you worthy, okay? You don't need to be looking for worth in a relationship, in a job, and this or that or the other. Like, they're lucky to have you, in a sense, okay? And I say that in a sense because we even have so many, like, I'm the prize, but you don't even have a bow, okay? Calm down. But with like, they're lucky to have you only because you're someone who is working on becoming great. You're someone who is being real with yourself, being accountable with yourself, being consistent with yourself. And because you're there with yourself, you're going to be there with other people. That is why someone is lucky to have you, whether it be a relationship or a job or a friendship or whatever. They're lucky to have you in their lives because you're actually doing the work to become better. And if you're doing the work to become better, you're not going to allow excuses to sugarcoat any bad behavior just because you don't want to take accountability for yourself, And so I wrote some notes for this one because I had to sit down and think of, like, even some of my past experiences. And I mean, I ain't telling all y'all that stuff. I'll tell you guys, I'm an open book. I mean, this is just a journey of growth and love. But I had to think about some of my past experiences and, times where I didn't feel worthy and why I didn't feel worthy. And even, like, what I did to feel worthy. And it's like, okay, what could I have known then to understand that I was worthy? And if I knew that then, how would I have moved? How would I have acted, because, like, okay, one thing I put in establishing your worth: when you know who you are, you know how you want to be treated. So when you really come to terms with, like, okay, this is who I am currently, but this is who I want to be, and this is the work that's going to be required, and this is what I'm doing, and you start treating yourself like that and start being consistent with yourself and start being accountable with yourself, then like, okay, this is how I want someone else to talk to me. This is how I want someone else to treat me. This is how I want someone else to interact with me, and I'm not gonna put up with just any old kind of behavior, but that's not because, like, just this high and mighty person. That's because, like, I'm understanding what I like and what I don't like, and I think that establishing your worth comes from one humility, because you have to get off of your high horse and really come down to the fact that you're not in good soil. You're in poop, okay? You have been planted in poop. You haven't been planted in the good fertilizing soil that the others have, okay? So now that you're in your poop, you need to understand, what do I gotta do to get out of my poop and to get into the good fertilized soil? I can't believe I used that one, but whatever. And then second, doing the work, okay? Once you're in your poop, you gotta do the work to get into the good fertilizer. Plant your flag, okay? And so, and then I always start with doing the work, guys, because if you're new to this channel, my heart's desire is to decrease the rise of single moms, decrease the rise of single parents. I talk about how my mom became a single mom after 15 years, and having been in a two-parent home and seeing the family unit and all that stuff, and then going to, it's like dad lives here, mom lives here, and seeing the way that they now act and having all these questions, but nobody's talking about anything. So it's just so much like so much confusion in a young kid's mind, and you don't even know where to go for questions, or what questions to ask. And sometimes I feel like even the parent may be in that same place of not knowing, nobody's talking just because nobody knows what to say. And I feel as though even having gotten to that point, there were things, there was antecedent behavior that maybe not that happened in the marriage, but even that happened while you were dating, that if you would have understood and saw this within each other, or even within yourselves, it wouldn't have even gotten over there, And so when you start doing the work in yourself, and you start knowing yourself and being self-aware and being accountable and being consistent, and start trusting yourself, then you can trust your decisions. And I not like ever, but I believe it will be harder to find yourself in a situation of like, how did I get here? Which is one thing that I used to always find myself, how did I get here? How did I get here? Lord, how am I here? Why did this happen to me, Father? Like all just this unaccountability and stuff. And now it's like, okay, I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to end up in situations where it's like you can never be accountable for yourself. Like it was always because I grew up like this, and then my parents did this, and then I had to go like this, and then everything is everybody else's fault, but your own, except you're the one sitting in the situation with all the problems, And so if we can start with ourselves, and take ownership over our own decisions, over our own actions, then we could take ownership over our own results and eventually have the results that we want, instead of results that we just land in and are mad about. And so what I wrote in establishing your worth, it's just 4 little points. Good points though. I put number 1, the key points that I look at that I looked at in, understanding like, you're worthy, you got it together. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. Just prove yourself to yourself. Do the work that you're doing because you have aligned your life with the Lord and you believe this is what He's telling you to do, instead of doing work to get another man's approval, or woman, But I put be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Like, look at, where are you in life? Where are you currently sitting? Is that good? Is that bad? Look at areas like your relationships, like your finances, like your job. Even if you have a job, are you where you want to be in your job? Do you like your job? Do you want a better job? Your health. Oh my gosh, that's so important, guys. I think we need to put more, we need to pay more attention to our health, to what we're doing daily, to what we're eating, because that's something, like, at the end of the day, I don't care how much money you got. If your health is not on point, you are a broke person. And then where are you going? Where are you going, and what is going to be required down that journey? Who are you becoming? Who are you now, and who do you want to be? And then also, what does that journey look like? What do those habits look like? What do the elimination of habits look like? Be honest with yourself. Because when you're honest with yourself and you know what work needs to be done and what work does not need to be done, you start becoming worthy to yourself, because you start working on the pursuit of greatness, And that's really what worth is. It's like, how valuable is this? How great is this? I mean, intelligent mind is way, 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 way more valuable than deep pockets. And so, because intelligent mind can get deep pockets, but deep pockets, I mean, that road will run out. Being consistent with yourself. And so this is one of my favorite ones, because this is one that I really had to master. I felt like I was, let me stop. I was gonna say, like, I felt like I was always honest with myself. That's so not true. But I was always as honest as I could be, I would say. But that's not true either. I just became, like, a year ago, 2 years ago, pretty honest with myself, like really honest with myself, because I didn't like where I was. But yeah, on to the next one. But what I really had to get good at was being consistent with myself. And creating a morning routine, creating a night routine, and doing that every single day, because sometimes people think that's boring, but you have no idea how far ahead in life that will get you, because it pretty much sets the day of you having time for yourself, you knowing where you're at, what you got to do, and then propelling you to, like, just excel forward, because your mind is almost like focused. Your mind is almost straight because you've given those minutes to yourself. But being consistent with yourself, a plan of action, steps, systems, routines in your life that are going to set you ahead, and a vision, like, where do you see yourself? I think I said it, I'm not sure if it was I'm not sure what video it was, but I was saying, like, what does a 5-year look like for you? What does a 10-year look like for you? What does a 15-year look like for you? And what habits do you either need to put in place, or what habits do you need to eliminate? Be consistent with yourself. I think the reason we don't receive a lot of what we want is because we are not consistent and we lack discipline. And so if you can master your consistency and you have great discipline, like, discipline, y'all, is that thing that tells you to get out of the bed when it's like 50 degrees, like gloomy outside, raining, Saturday, you don't have to go to work, you really don't have to be anywhere, but like, you said that you were gonna work out. You getting up? Are you getting up? Okay. And then do things to help and educate others. Doing things to help and educate others. I feel as though when you start establishing your worth and understanding your worth, and that's when you're walking in your purpose, because purpose is not about money. Although I do believe purpose will bring you a lot of money, but I feel like purpose is about what gifts God has given you that you can be able to teach, educate, and give to somebody else that is just like a breeze for you, and so when you start educating others, when you start helping others, I do believe you get rooted and you do get grounded in the understanding of what you were created for, and why you were sent here, and you get rooted in your call. Now it's like, I'm getting up and I'm doing these YouTube videos, not because, like, I'm getting any money and I need to show up, but because, like, this is something for me that it's more like for you, and then it becomes for people, but it's more from maybe an area of breakthrough, growth, or even lack in your life that you had a need and needed to be filled. And that feeling is like a fulfillment that was given to you, but also overflows, and it's a fulfillment for the world, I almost feel like. And then setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is so important, because setting boundaries first starts with you telling yourself how you're going to be treated, and you telling others how you're going to be treated. When you set boundaries, I think it's very important to honor your own boundaries. If you tell other people that you don't like it when they're late, I think it's important for you to always show up 10 minutes, 5 minutes early to even appointments that you set. If you don't like foul language, I think it's important that you yourself don't cuss, you know, even when it's just you by yourself, you know, like, or you don't listen to music with a lot of cussing, you know, like really taking it to the level of like honoring your space, honoring yourself, because then that's when it's real, you know, like this life is not a game. Like this life is not a game. And if you're faking anything, you're gonna be found out. You know, I think the only time that you're gonna get the best out of life and get real results is when you are genuine and when you are authentic. Because even if you get to the heights of something pretending, you're gonna fall, and that fall is going to be a very exposed and painful fall. And so those are the tips that I have, guys, and that one helped me in understanding and knowing like, hey, you're worthy and you have a lot to offer, you know, and don't try to find that in the eyes of people or in what society thinks, but find that in yourself. Find that in, you know, being honest with yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing what is going to be required to get there, being consistent with yourself. Create a plan of action and do that plan every day, not for others, but for you, so that you could say like, hey, I know I'm going to show up. Like if I tell somebody I'm going to be there, I know I'm going to be there because I'm there for me. So I know I'm going to be there for them, even if they don't know it. You know, doing things to help and educate others. That's where your purpose is going to be found. You know, that's where I believe you are also going to be found, because now you know what you were created here to do. And then setting those boundaries. Set boundaries, guys, that align with your morals and your values. Set boundaries that align with your character. Who do you want to be? You know, like, do you want to be kind? Who do you want to be known for? When people, you know, talk at your funeral, what do you want them to say about you? Do you want them to say like, he was an amazing person who always thought about people, never backed down, had grit, you know, was the kindest person, but the most strongest person I've ever met? Or do you want them to be like, you know, like they always knew how to sorry, I could make a song. Like they always knew how to have a good time, you know, but you don't count on them if a flood was there. Like, what do you want them to say? And so establish your worth with yourself, because you're already established with the Lord. And then as you establish your worth with yourself and you start to see like, hey, I'm worthy, hey, I got this, I guarantee that other people will start to see it too. But if you can't even see your own worth, just go about your business, okay? I love you guys. Be good today. Be kind, be nice, be accountable. You be aware of yourself, be aware of your actions, and let's go and grow. Bye.